You know, I always give credit where credit is due, and for this program, we've got to thank the dogs that we have. We have two large, lumbering, beastie canines that we have to take out on walks, and it is because of them that we're doing a show on truffles. I asked my long-suffering wife, Marie, if she agrees with this statement.
I do. They were definitely a part of what inspired this idea and what got us over there to do this in the first place.
Yeah, because...
Would you like to elaborate?
We're just taking for a walk, and and these are large dogs. We don't have, like, practice-sized dogs. These are actual beastie dogs.
Sure.
And one of them just starts rooting around, like, sniff, 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 root, 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 about to dig, and we think, oh, it's almost as if this dog is looking for truffles.
I believe I said, man, Heidi's just a rootin'. And you said, what's she doing, looking for truffles?
Yep.
And then I went, oh my God, let me get my phone and see if there's a truffle place we can visit while we're on our trip that we had already planned.
Yes.
And there was.
Hot diggity dog. It all worked out. This show is about truffles, and yes, it's the truffles we've seen.
Nobody knows the truffles we've seen.
And you get singing as a bonus. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
And Voca Vacay starts right now.
Prepare yourself for the bestest, amazingest, and overall super duperest travel program in the history of ever. Vacation like it's your job and live vicariously through yourself. It's time now for Voca Vacay.
As this episode of Voca Vacay unfolds, we got to give yet another shout out to our new bestest buddies. And we do this at the start of every single show where we find out that people in other countries have joined the Voca Vacay International Global Family. And we've got three, not one, not two, but three countries that are joining since we've met last time.
OMG.
Yeah.
Butter my buns and call me a biscuit. This is literally so exciting. Three countries
since last we met, which was a fortnight ago. So here we go. Australia. Good day.
Good day, mate.
Good day. Ireland, we've been there several times.
Yeah.
More than once.
Yes.
We love Ireland.
Sláinte.
Yeah, it's a great place. And the Philippines.
Okay, I don't know any of those sayings.
But, yeah, Filipino. No, they said Philippine yes to this program. What? So
no,
Voca
he
Vacay.
didn't.
So welcome. Hearty shout out to Australia, Ireland, and the Philippines for joining the Voca Vacay ever-expanding global family.
That's super cool. Mm-hmm. And as I always say, I love that we are attracting and gaining new Voca Vacayers.
All over the place.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So thanks so much for playing along. We hope you have some fun with this episode, which focuses on truffle hunting in southern France.
One of the best things I've ever done in my life.
It is true.
So, I mean, as a foodie, but also as just someone that likes to travel, and then also someone that just loves this region, always wanted to go. This was probably the epitome of like the excursion of excursions for me.
This was epically awesome. And let me point out, when people say that they have a bucket list of things they want to do, it's like, I want to see this place, I want to see this place. And if you actually put somewhere on that list, I want to go truffle hunting.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I never thought we'd be able to.
No.
I never thought this was possible.
It's surprisingly doable. And now in this program, I'm going to tell people how to do it.
For sure.
Because we totally did this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start in the south of France.
Yeah.
If you look at a map, go to France, look at the bottom. That's where we were. And, well, we were going there and as we said this before, there was a cruise that we had scheduled, and we were there a few days early, and we said, hey, it's the off season. We got time.
Yep.
Let's go look around.
Yeah. Then the dog idea happened.
And then and that's the thing, the dog idea, it's like, well, we just had an extra day to burn. It's like, oh, no. There's a rootin' animal.
Yeah.
Truffles.
Yeah.
Let's make this work.
Yeah.
And the calendar worked out beautifully for us. We were incredibly fortunate.
Yeah.
So here's how this works. Southern France is in the south of France, and it's known for a couple of things. Wine.
Yes. Wine.
And truffles.
I love my wine. And I love some truffles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
so we go to...
people don't know that, though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
You think, Provence wine. Mm-hmm. But then you don't realize that it's actually the south of France, Provence area.
Yes.
Is one of the biggest exporters. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest places to get these black truffles.
Yes.
I had no idea either.
If you're going to a land of wine and truffles, it's like winner here. You're in the bonus round of life.
Oh, can I die and go to heaven now?
This is good stuff.
Okay, yeah.
No, but you can live and go to southern France.
When are we going to move?
I know. I want to move. I want a job there. So we fly into Marseille.
Yes.
And then we stay in town. It's called Aix-en-Provence. People call it Aix.
Right.
Yeah.
Aix-en-Provence.
Yeah. So they just call it X. It's spelled A-I-X in Provence. They just call it X. Yeah. That's the locals. And that is about a 40-minute drive to a town called Cadenet.
Yes. So the Aix-en-Provence is like a college town.
Pretty much,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's built up. It's city-ish. And then you drive up to Cadenet
Yes.
and you start to get into wine country a little
Yes.
more. So Cadenet is cute.
It's a nice
It's
place.
a cute little quaint French town with chateaus. It's everything that when you dream of going to a place in the south of France.
Yes.
That's this place.
Well, if you're expecting, are there baguettes and croissants and
Baguettes.
berets, baguettes, more wine? If there are these things, yes,
Right, yeah.
absolutely. It's the French attitude. It's the French lifestyle,
Yes.
and it is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Lavender everywhere. Beautiful. Rolling hills of wine vines. I mean,
We call
come
those
on.
we call those vineyards.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. Wine, vine, rolling hills, vineyards, tomato. I'm just saying, when you look out, when you live where we live, you don't see wine vines.
No.
You see what you see. But like, yeah, it's everything you imagine.
So you're driving through the countryside, and there's vineyards, and there's all sorts of. It's a gorgeous place. We encourage you to go. Let's find out about the truffle hunts.
Absolutely.
Specifically. And we'll talk about the wines later because there's an insane amount of output. But don't worry, wine folk. We will get there. We will get there. That's
you gotta
not
have
truffles.
something to drink when you're eating your truffles.
Darn right. So we wind up going, and this is around December, January-ish.
Yeah.
So we're going there off season. And remember, off season is a wonderful time to go there. We wind up going during the winter season, which is the black Paragold truffle season.
I had no idea.
Unbeknownst to both of us.
I had no idea that, number one, that would be the season, and number two, we could fit it into our other itinerary.
Yes.
And that it just happened to like work out.
Just dropped right into place. So we would
Yeah.
like thank Heidi, our rootin' dog, for encouraging this behavior. So we find a place called Les Pastres Organic Provincial Farm. It's near Cadenet.
Yeah.
It is a 27-acre. They call it 11 hectares. I did the math. It's 27 acres.
Okay, cool.
And it is Johan and Lisa Pepin.
Oh,
And you can go there. I see you beaming. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you see her smiling.
it's because I want to be them when I grow up.
I know. I
Okay.
know.
Tell them what they do. Yeah.
Can I totally just be this guy?
Yeah.
They live, there's a French farmhouse. And it is literally a farm where you go out there and go, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And yet they have a swimming pool and they have a balcony area. And it's just gorgeous.
It's
and
gorgeous.
They're surrounded by vineyards.
Oh.
They're surrounded by truffle oaks. It's just
beautiful.
It's nestled in the countryside of
Yes.
southern France. And oh man.
Yeah.
I love these people.
Yeah.
So what happens is you can book a tour.
Yeah.
And you get a tour, and then they'll take you around.
Yeah.
You can, dig up some truffles. There's
Yeah.
a feast later on. All this for 70 euros each, and it's totally worth it.
I cannot believe that that's all it costs.
Yeah.
And if I were them, I would charge more. No, I think it's perfect what they're charging because you want people to come that are either like they're vacationing just in the south of France.
Yes.
That go over just for this, or people that are going on some other bigger thing like a cruise like we were.
Right.
And so it's cost efficient. So it's a good thing because it's cost efficient, but also you get to know them.
Yeah.
And that is really a cool thing because we spent so much time just talking and being social and just like, it was just so good to make friends abroad. Like, I feel like that's who they are. And I follow them on social media. And so, we talked more with Johan. And so we know him better. But like, I follow her. Like, I, see all of their posts about what they're doing with the truffles and other stuff on the farm. And I am just like, I love you guys.
I want to be these people.
Yeah. So yeah, you get to know them. I think it's the perfect price.
It is great. And here's what you do is that you pull in, and the truffle hunting, by the way, for reasons we'll get into in a couple minutes, truffle hunting is secretive.
Oh yeah.
Because it is high dollar stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So it's secretive. So here's what happens when you basically book them through the website at
LesPastres.com.
Yeah. When you book there, basically they'll get in touch with you, and it's not like they're going to give you GPS coordinates. They'll give you directions.
Yeah, sure.
And they'll help you find it, but they want to stay a little bit off the beaten path because people will steal truffles.
Yes, I did not know this.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge deal.
Yes.
So what happens, they'll give you directions, and you wind through the back country of Provence. It's gorgeous. It's quaint. We pull in there, and it's basically at the end of a road.
Yeah.
If it's not the end of a road, I mean, the roads are pretty small and narrow anyway. So,
And it's hilly.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So it's at the end of a road up on a quaint little hill.
Yeah, and there's blind curves the whole bit. So you find it. You do.
Yeah.
And you find this place. And then we were out there. We got there first, and there's a couple. And we had an evening tour.
Yeah.
It's late afternoon. And so we got there, and then another car pulled up with another couple, and another car pulled up with another couple.
Right. So there were 6 of us.
6 of us.
Yeah.
And then Johan comes out, and he's like, hey, this is you. Welcome. He welcomes everyone, and he gives us a brief tour of the farmhouse. It says, here's the farmhouse. Here's our location.
Yeah.
And then he takes us to basically the Truffle Oaks.
And we sit on benches. And it is like the best informational, like just discovery speech, like not even a speech. He educates you.
He talks to you about truffles.
Yeah. And it is so interesting because I did not know anything really.
Right.
Other than I knew they were fantastic and I wanted to get some, but knowing more about them and the depth and complexity of like, you know, the truffle trade, or like how you're supposed to eat them, or like how they grow, the science behind that. And you know, this is not a boring lecture. This is like interesting stuff.
It's fascinating.
And then it gets in your head and then you're like, oh my gosh, I am realizing I'm one of the few people on this earth that knows about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this right now. I don't know anybody that knows much about truffles. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
Not, and certainly not. And we're in Tennessee. No,
Yeah.
truffles they just don't happen here.
I did tell a friend of mine, and he said that they grow some truffles up in, I think he said Kentucky or something, nowhere near like this.
Oh, no.
I didn't even know about them maybe possibly even being in the States. Who knows if that's really right? But here's my point. I didn't know much about truffles.
Right.
Now I feel like, I'm in the club.
I've been truffle educated.
Yeah, that's right.
And this guy is great, by the way.
Oh, it's so good. And he's funny, too.
Oh, yeah. So he sits down and tells us. So here's what happens. You have wooden benches. You sit under these oak trees.
Yeah.
And he just starts and he goes, here's about truffles. And he'll tell you about how they grow them, where they grow them, what the prices are. Very open about all these cool stuff.
Yeah.
All this cool stuff. They grow in the roots of oak trees. They are subterranean. They're under the ground, by the way. This is so important. They grow in the roots of the oak trees. Now, here's the deal. You have a certain soil acidity.
Yes.
A certain soil temperature.
Yes.
It has to have southern exposure under an oak tree. There's a whole bunch of variables. These are hard to grow.
It's because of the spores, he was saying.
Yes.
Like, it's got to be like the perfect conditions. And they happen to like make that happen there.
Yeah.
And he did talk a little bit about that, how that came about. I can't remember much about that, but yeah, I mean, this is a perfect place.
Yes.
And this is a perfect excursion for truffles.
What we're saying is you can't go to northern Canada and grow a truffle.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. They're very picky and fussy, and it's a very delicate art in actually propagating these things.
Yes, exactly.
And they have nailed it.
Yeah.
So what happens is that, and there are a couple of clues, like there's something called a witch's circle.
I did not know this.
Yeah, this is wild. If you're under an oak tree, and again, in this area, don't just go outside your house and go, oh yeah, but if there's a bare patch of earth, that means there might be truffles under there because the truffles take oxygen from the earth and that kills off the grass on the top.
That's right, because he showed us the circle, but I forgot that it was called a witch's circle. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. So, I'm glad that you know that and remembered that.
Well, and here's the thing is you think, oh yeah, there's a bare patch of ground under an oak tree. We're just going to take a shovel, start digging. No, it doesn't work like, even if you can identify the right tree.
Right.
There's still more to it than that.
Right.
Now, with all these things going on, and just as a background, my knowledge of truffles before going on this trip and this tour was absolutely zero. Well, it was 1% out of 100. All I knew is that Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen was always like, donkey, where are the truffles? And you have to slice.
It's the truffle risotto.
It is. The truffle risotto. You got to slice it, donkey. Yeah. And that's all I knew.
That's all you knew.
It was some exotic ingredient. And I'm trying to think if I've ever supped on truffles before. No, I've not.
No, yes, one time.
When?
And you actually are literally telling the truth because I come from a family of cooks and chefs and foodies.
Sure.
And so I knew more than you about truffles, but not nearly as much as till when we went on this excursion.
Right.
You had truffles one time when we went to Vegas and went to Gordon Ramsay's burger and we got the truffle fries. And I was telling you how important it was that these tasted right, smelled right, that they were like literally like right.
Oh,
because that's the thing. when you go to a restaurant and they offer something that has truffle on it
Mm-hmm.
or in it, a lot of the time you're not getting fresh truffle.
No.
And so sometimes it won't even taste like truffle or smell like truffle. And I was telling you, this has to be spot on. And then that's the only time that I know of that you've had truffle.
That's right. That's
and so,
right. I
but you-
forgot about that.
It probably didn't stand out to you that much because it was on like French fries.
Yeah, it was like a flavor. It
Yeah.
was like it wasn't like the big shaved
Right.
chunks of truffle.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was like flakes.
Yeah, but still delicious.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
sure.
the flavor is so amazing. Here's the deal: if you think about, hey, I want some truffle. Let's just back up for a second. Talk about supply and demand.
Okay,
before we get
please.
into the actual truffle hunt.
Yes.
Because when we're talking about, we'll do a special show on a special food. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
If these winter black truffles, these black Paragold truffles that you find in France, they go for $1,500, so $1,500 to $3,000 per kilo.
That is some pricey
a
stuff.
kilo is 2.2 pounds.
Which it makes it, it's got to be good.
Yeah, so even
Yeah.
divided by pounds, that's $1,000 or so a pound.
Wow.
These are not cheap. And then there's also the summer truffles. These are white truffles and predominantly Italy.
Right.
They go for more. It's $2,000 to $5,000 a kilo.
Right. They're more rare because I think they grow in a smaller area.
Yeah.
And it's like the only area.
But
Yeah.
the black truffles are still very, very hard to, you've got to get it just perfect and just
Yeah.
right. And the French truffles are amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going for that flavor. Remember, demand always tops the supply.
Yeah, because think about it. Like, you're like, why am I paying all this money for this? Like, it's a fungus. Like, it's like you cook with, different things all the time that are earthy or come from the earth. The
Right.
earth.
Earth.
And like,
It's from the earth.
it's because of all of the struggle to get it.
Yes.
And then to export it. And then to like keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And then for it to serve its purpose in the culinary world and on the palate, which is to smell and taste as it is supposed to be.
Yes.
And if you aren't careful with these, you will lose that smell and that taste quickly because they are not something that's real. Like they're fragile.
Yeah.
They're not something that, you keep around and
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When you get them, you
you
use them.
use them and they're fresh.
These are in American restaurants, is one of the most sought after ingredients in haute cuisine.
Hell yeah.
It is so good.
That's the stuff. Like, I want to go somewhere when I pay for something and I'm going to pay good money for it and it be an experience. I want it to have something like truffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
It's worth it.
Now, when you go to a restaurant, say in the United States,
Yeah.
and they import some truffles, and a lot of the fancier places, expensive, high-dollar places do, keep this in mind. If you're going from, say, October to March, you're going to have a black truffle.
Right.
If you're going from September to January, there's a
Right.
little bit of a difference there. You're going to get a white truffle.
Right.
And of course, what Johan was telling us was that you always want to see the truffle.
Yes.
And if they're going to shave it at your table, because you don't cut truffles, you
No.
shave them.
Yes.
We actually own a truffle slicer.
Yes.
And you put on a very thin micro setting and you shave it
Yes.
delicately.
Yes.
And just a thin layer of truffle is more than enough to get out the complex flavors and aroma, and it is amazing stuff. So you don't need a lot.
Right.
And it's so good, but you want this shaved in front of you.
And if you go to a restaurant outside of these months and they're offering you fresh truffle, quote unquote, you might be suspect.
Right.
You're talking about the odor and the flavor.
Yes.
Alex Guarnaschelli, who's a chef, a big, like, well-known chef in New York and on Food Channel and Food Network and like a big, like, name in culinary world.
Yes.
She once described the truffle. I believe she said something like, it's good when it smells like a locker room. Like, it's got that like strong, pungent, earthy, sort of stinky, like smell that smells like, it's because it's come from underground.
Right.
It's been in the ground.
Right.
It's going to have that. It's got an oaky sort of like smell because of the tree. And it's got like a mushroomy kind of anyway, my point is that if it doesn't have that odor and it's outside of those months, it's been stored and kept like they've tried to like something they've done something
can't
with
monkey
it
with that. No.
Because then you get to the taste. And when you taste something with truffle for the first time, you know what that is. It stays with you forever.
Yeah.
And if you order something outside of these months and it doesn't taste like truffle nor smell like truffle, it's not been stored right. It's out of season.
That's right. And here's the thing is that, look, I am not a culinary aficionado. I know good food when I eat it.
Yeah, sure.
Truffles are one of those foods that once you have it you get it is the only way I can describe it. Once you smell what truffle smells like and what it should smell like, it's sort of like, and the best analogy I can draw is, say, cheese, because there are certain cheeses when you smell them, there's an aroma. It's like, that's what that should smell like. That smells good. That's going to taste good. I'm in.
The stinkier the cheese, the better for me.
Right. And
that's the cheese I like.
That's you. And for me, it's like, nah, I really don't want that.
You like the milder cheese.
I like the milder cheese.
Yeah.
It looks like an extra sharp cheddar. Boom, I'm there.
Yeah.
But truffles, it's like, once you smell a truffle, it's like you can't unsmell
it.
And I mean that in the nicest possible way. Once you get it, it's like, oh, that's what, now I totally get it.
Once you have truffle on something, especially something you've had a million times, like, say, macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
Once you've had it on that, you can't unhave it. Like, you're like, every time you have it without it now you're
I
like,
want
that would be better with some truffle.
Yeah, that would totally be better with some truffle. So here's the deal: 80% of the French truffles come from southern the Provence, where we were.
Yeah.
So that's 80% again from right there. And so this place where we went, it is the epicenter. It is right there in the center of the truffle trade.
Yes.
And Marie, you know so much. You've done so much research about truffles.
Oh my gosh.
The truffles you've seen.
Oh, the truffles I've seen. No, it's because they intrigued me so much when we were there by talking about, like, he mentioned that documentary, or the book. There's a book out. I have it in my notes here. I'll come across it here in just a second. Oh, The Truffle Underground.
Yes.
A tale of mystery, mayhem, and manipulation in the shadowy market of the world's most expensive fungus.
Yes.
So he was talking about that. Well, anyway, I started looking it up when we got back, because I was just like, is it really this cray? Like, I was like,
is it that big of a deal?
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Okay, listen,
Yeah,
I have some things here.
Go.
An anonymous bidder once from Hong Kong purportedly placed a call to a white truffle auction in Italy and shelled out $120,000 for 2 pieces of truffle weighing just over 2 pounds. Now, this is white truffle.
Yeah.
And the white truffle is more rare and harder to get. I believe that's what I read.
Yeah.
And is in a different season. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you had the money, I guess if we were Oprah rich, I guess we would do that. I like truffle that much. I'd consider it.
Oh, wow. You're talking about high dollar stuff here. And again, it's just like, wow, it's really expensive. It's really elite. And again, the shelf life on these, when you get them, let's eat it up.
Okay. So another thing is, Mayor Bill de Blasio was gifted an $8,000 truffle from that very same auction.
Wow.
That's interesting. Let's see. What else?
The Blasio's up in New York if you're playing Jeopardy at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
A casino tycoon named Stanley Ho spent $330,000 on 2 pieces that weighed 2.87 pounds.
Wow.
Let me just put you this way.
Okay.
When they come over to the States and they're imported.
Yes.
And you pay to have truffle on something, like, say, a risotto.
Yes.
The average cost of that with just adding the truffle is $85 a dish.
Wow.
So it's controversial. People get crazy about these so that leads to the book that Jahan mentioned.
Yeah.
And then it made me look into it further. And there has been some actual crime.
Yes.
There's been a murder. There's been, there was, a guy forced off the road and his truck. They posed as police and they went through his truck. They stole his truffles. There's been a murder. Like, I'm just saying, like, the truffle trade is crazy. I was reading that it's hard to watch your property that you grow truffles on because, number one, it's large.
Yes.
People can literally come in and, like, kill your dogs or take your dogs and then take your truffles.
Yes.
And, like, they'll steal truffle dogs.
Yeah. So
that they can, like, have them of their own and have better truffle dog hunters.
Right.
Like, I mean, it is crazy and it's hard to watch your property.
Yeah.
So they weren't kidding when they were like, look, this is a thing.
Look, and currently, I mean, we're living here in the States, but if there's an opportunity for us to go work on a truffle farm, if you want me to be the night watchman and just patrol the grounds,
we volunteer.
And in exchange, I'll be paid with French wine and truffles. Okay, well, where do I find this ad on monster.com? I'm totally in on this.
Yes.
I love this idea.
I love it.
But truffles are, so when we say it's secretive, there's a reason why, because you don't want people just with shovels just showing up and start digging up dirt and going,
Right.
hey, look, I found a truffle. It's worth a couple $1,000.
Right.
Wow. Let's try to protect these guys.
Yeah, there's a new documentary out about some truffle farmers in Italy, and I can't wait to see it. It gets released in December, and I can't remember the title of it. Do you remember the title of it?
No, I don't, but it's on net.
It's on. It'll be. It'll come to.
It's the Truffle Hunters, I think.
Yes,
I think
and
it's
it'll
that
come
simple,
to
yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, and it's just it doesn't go so much into the, from what I understand, the conspiracy and controversy and all of that about the truffle trade, but it's about an old family that just has a truffle farm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing. So here's the deal. So knowing about truffles and knowing how expensive these things are and how rare
Yes.
they are and how hard it is. I mean, look, it's not like you can go online and say, I want to get a truffle growing kit. No, you can't. You can grow roses in your backyard.
You can get a beer kit,
Yeah,
a wine kit.
Yeah, it's
there
like,
are no truffle
there
kits.
are
my
no
friend.
truffle kits. That doesn't exist. So here's the thing. If you're going, it's like, okay, so we go to the truffle place.
Yeah, and I had mentioned the dogs. I
Yes.
said dogs hunt the truffle. So let's introduce that.
Let's get
'Cause
to the hunt.
You go to the farm and then there are puppies.
There's puppies.
There's doggies.
There's truffle pups.
Truffle pups.
Truffle pups
I
show up.
love them.
So you're sitting there, and so Johan says, okay, here's what happens. Here's what you're looking for. Here's what the trade is like.
Yes.
And then the handler drives in. Handler's name is Jean-Marc.
Okay, cool.
Jean-Marc Henneken.
I couldn't remember his name, but he was fantastic.
Amazing guy.
I'm glad you wrote it down.
Jean-Marc.
Yes.
Jean-Marc comes in, and he's got a couple of puppies with him.
Oh,
they're so
puppers.
cute. And when we say puppies, they're actually dogs, but we
Right.
call them truffle pups because, oh my gosh, they're so adorable.
They are.
So they come in, and here's the truffle hunt. Here's what happens. You're sitting there, and they tell you for the first 5 or 10 minutes, you can pet the dogs, you can rub the
Yeah.
dog. Oh, you're such a good puppy, and all that stuff. And, we
And
love
you do.
animals.
Yeah.
And we took pictures with the dogs. We're shameless like that. So we take all the pictures. And by the way, all this stuff you can see on vocavacay.com. We're going to post pictures of our truffle hunt.
Yes.
So you're going to see all this and go, oh, wow, that is cool.
Yeah.
So we're rubbing the puppies, all stuff. And
Aw.
they say, and after a couple minutes, they say, okay, now stop, because
Yeah.
now they go to work. And once they start working,
Yes.
you don't interfere.
It takes a long time to train them.
Yes.
And they train them from when they're puppies.
Mm-hmm.
And you want them to stay focused.
Yes.
And you don't want to divert their attention because this is their job. And dogs are pack animals. They want to do their job. So it all makes sense.
And this is a reward system that they're based on. So
Yes.
if they do a good job, they get rewarded. You're not going to see.
It's positive
Yes,
reinforcement.
it's absolutely positive reinforcement.
Yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So what happens is they say, okay, now they're going to hunt. So you've taken your
Aw.
picture with the puppies, and off they go.
Yep.
And the handler goes with them, and they start rooting.
It is so
they're
cool.
sniffing the grass, and they're
Just
running
like
back.
Heidi that gave us the idea. They were rooting. And I was
Yeah.
like, they're totally rooting.
Yeah, Heidi was our dog that was starting to root when we said, hey, let's do this. And so now it's like all dogs do this apparently, but these are truffle trained dogs.
They root only for the truffles.
And so and they'll sniff, sniff, sniff. And then when they start sniffing, they find a place, they'll go on point with it, and they'll
Yeah.
start, pawing at the ground a little
Yeah.
bit. And Jean-Marc says, okay, here you go.
Yep.
They pull the dog aside and they reward the dog
Yes.
for successfully. It's like, okay, and we get it from here. And here's what happens. Then they get like a little shovel, a little spade, and they start digging around with a
Yeah.
little brush and all stuff. And here's the fun thing. They don't do this in front of you. You get to help them pull the truffles out. We've actually removed truffles from the earth. We've done this.
It's literally something. It's an experience.
Yes, you got to do this.
Knowing me and what I'm into,
Mm-hmm.
like food and like just being able to watch a truffle hunt and then actually get to like pull it out of the ground myself.
Yeah.
It was an awe-inspiring experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, this is everything.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was so neat. And you have I don't want to say a real connection to the food, but then it's
Yes.
like, wow, that's an actual
Yes.
truffle. And take the price element away
Right,
from it. Take the
right.
price away that what you're holding in your hand is worth a couple $100 or $1,000. Take that out of
Right.
the equation for a second.
Right.
It's just one of those neat experiences. Like, here's this dog who's been trained. You're in
Aw.
southern France, and they're going to dig this out, and you're pulling this out. It's like, yes, this is actually a product that is amazing to taste.
Farm to table, man.
Yeah.
That's how we want to live.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
So when you do that, here's what happens. So there's 6 of us with the hunt, and Johan's still there.
Yeah.
And Jean-Marc is controlling the dogs, and they just go up the
Yeah.
and then you dig out the little truffle. It's like,
Oh, here's
And-
a truffle.
yeah,
Oh,
and-
boy, I love the truffle. Yeah.
You collect them in a basket, much
Yeah.
like we have here. If you're watching our YouTube video, where you collect them in a basket and you just take them and you kind of brush them off and get them
Yes.
ready. But yeah, they go directly from the earth into your basket.
And here's the fun thing is that Jean-Marc, he'll find these things, go, that's a truffle, and then he'll wave one of us 6 over. It's like, okay, it's your turn.
Yeah.
And you go, and it's like, and boy, you've never seen people dive in front of a camera phone so quickly, because it's like, oh, I gotta get a picture of the guy, I gotta get a picture of this. And we had one guy with us who was like a semi-professional photographer with his iPhone.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I was like, wow, he's got a really good angle. And I was like, don't worry, I'll send him to you.
Oh, he
And
did. It was great. It
And
was
he did an
nice.
amazing job. So
People are so nice.
everybody was very friendly about
Yeah.
this. So they did this. And then the next one's like, have you gone yet? No. Okay, well, and then, and the dogs are Mirabelle and Eclair. And Eclair's like, okay, put the truffle. And so Jean-Marc's like, dig, 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 dig. And he's like, you want help? And I go, dig, dig, dig. And pull up. Now, here's the thing in all candor, because I've never said I'm a mastery of buffoonery or whatever, but here I go. They pull a truffle. It's like, and again, the sacred relic, and it's like the Lady of the Lake in Excalibur. You're pulling this up,
Angelic
It's like,
noise.
I have the chorus, the heavenly chorus of angels is singing as I'm removing the truffle from the earth. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then it's like, and here's the brush. You brush off the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay. So you brush off the dirt. And I broke my truffle. I broke my truffle. I brushed it too hard. Apparently, it's very dainty and delicate and gentle. And I found this art the hard way. We go brush. I'm brushing like I'm brushing a camel with a coach. I'll get these things out. Nope, too hard.
My husband, everyone.
Yeah.
No, it was a little node, like a nodule.
Yes.
On the side that I think you thought it was a clump of dirt.
I thought it was a clump of dirt. Truffles don't grow round; they grow in different shapes.
They gave you hell the whole time. They were like, "Well, that was a good one until he broke it."
Yeah, they were the nicest.
They were
people.
so nice about it, but they were like, "Oh, that could have been a good one." Like it was like.
Why does everyone in France talk like this? The way you give their
I
voices.
do not know, but they were like, "Ho ho ho! You broke your truffle," and it was like so. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's my husband." But no, look, that
They
happens.
were so great about this.
Yeah, and I'm sure it happens a million times.
Yep, just with me that day.
But it is funny that you were the one that did it that day.
Of course.
But and then they use it anyway, so it's like
Yeah, it's not. They don't need a whole truffle. It's not like, oh well, this is bad. We're going to throw it out. No, I mean you can still make stuff out of it. We'll
Sure.
talk about what you can do with truffles later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a lot of great uses for this, and so we go there, and we're out there for a while, an hour. I don't know,
because
just
it's
hunting
amazing.
truffles.
Yeah.
And the time flies by, and you're having so much fun. We went on a perfect day,
Yeah.
and the temperature was great, and we went and and at the end you get a basket of truffles.
Yes.
So now we have to say goodbye to the puppies.
Oh.
And the puppies gotta go back to where to go.
Bye bye puppies.
Bye, puppies. Oh, we love the puppies so much.
So
I love them.
The puppies leave. So Mirabelle and Eclair, they leave with Jean-Marc.
Yeah.
And then we tour the rest of, not the entire grounds, because again, this is a 27-acre farm we're talking about. It's
Right.
a working farm. But instead we say, okay, a couple other things we need to see. We see the beehives.
They have
They
beehives.
make their own honey.
Hello?
Can they be any cooler
Can
than
they
they are right
be
now?
any cooler?
Can they be any?
Oh, honey, they
make
couldn't
your own
be
honey?
any cooler.
Stop
Oh my
it.
gosh, that's
So-
the buzz I've heard.
No. Stop that. Oh my god.
No, but they have, which is so cool. It's like, okay, the truffles are pretty cool. What else you got? Beehives. What? Like, it's like, it's awesome.
That was, and so we're thinking, okay, you can't top this, right?
Right.
Wrong.
No,
Next
keep
thing
going.
you know, there's a grape stomping area because they have their own wine vine vineyard set up. They make their own wine. I'm not kidding. Look, if you're watching us on YouTube, if not, go to YouTube, find this episode. Look, they make their own wine.
You're making me realize.
I'm pointing to the
should have
wine right
said
now.
Grapevines, not wine vines, but that's how much of a that's how much I love the wine. Is I'm like, those don't look. You see grapes. I see a glass of wine.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
I see grapes. You go, that's got potential.
So anyway, no, I want
I
to go
want it for the food.
I want to go back when we can stomp the grapes, because I've always wanted to do that too.
That's on my list of things I want to do, because this is, I believe it happens in September, October. I hope I don't have those months wrong, but I know it's in the fall where the harvest season has happened, and you can go there and stomp grapes.
They come from these wine vines, otherwise known as vineyards.
Yes.
But anyway, you can really do it, and I really want to. And it takes place at a different time of the year.
Yeah.
And so it gives you more of an excuse to go back and visit
we're totally going back.
Johan and Lisa, and then their farm.
Yeah, because I'm going to stomp some grapes and make wine out of. But and so you can find those pictures of other people doing it. But they have their own grape stomping abilities. So the thing is, when you get the wine, and here's something we didn't know. The wine is, and I'm not saying they just do this as, hey, it's something we do. A lot of people in France do this, and this area of Provence is a huge wine making mecca, and it's all good.
So not to divert too much, but I will just say a few things about Provence and wine. And I'm not a wine expert by any means.
I know what I like, and that's all I know.
Well, there are people that really know. Like, some people are like, especially like the professionals that go around and rate wines. They can tell you by one smell and one sip, like where it's from anywhere in the world.
There was so much limestone in this. I taste
my
karst.
gosh.
It's like, how do you do that? I just like good wine, but these guys, this is wine central. Southern France is amazing.
So people really, Provence is really known for this. It's blessed with this awesome climate. It's got lots of sunshine. It doesn't have too much rain. It's got cool evenings and warm days. It's like the perfect place for grapes to grow that produce really good wine.
Darn right.
And all the temperatures, there's not a whole lot of pests. There's 9 regions in the area, and they all make sort of different vintages of wine.
Yes.
The largest is Côtes de Provence, and it's the biggest producing region. It produces about 75% of the wine in the region, and 89% of that is rosé. And I love me some rosé.
There you go. You had my wife at rosé.
So it's and we had really good stuff when we were there.
Yes, we did.
And so the cool thing is when you go visit this farm and you go for the truffles, or you go for the honey, or you go for the grape stomping.
Yes.
You're going to have good wine in the area while you're there, but like you were leading in with, they make their own, and you can get it.
Yes, you can.
Oh.
Okay, before we tell people how to get this because there's a whole thing to this, because we've looked for truffles.
Yep.
We saw the rest of the farm operation.
Yep.
And at the end, oh gosh. The coolest thing. I mentioned this cost like 70 euros each.
I know.
It's such a bargain.
Oh my gosh.
Here's what happens at the end of this. So we've pulled out the truffles. The dogs are gone. We've seen everything else. They say, okay, come back to the farmhouse. By the way, there's a swimming pool right next to the farmhouse. I'm so jealous.
It's gorgeous.
So they have all these things, and they say, okay, now we're going to have like a truffle and champagne feast.
And that's where they teach you how to really utilize the truffle and serve it, and what to serve it with, and how to eat it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. That's another thing about this experience. You might go and hunt some truffles and learn about the truffles.
Right.
Now you get schooled on how to actually have a culinary experience with them in your own home.
Yeah, once you get a
like
truffle,
you can do
it's
this
like,
yourself.
what do I do with this?
Yeah.
It's like, here's what happens. So we sit down, and there's like an outdoor, I don't know, like
it's like a pavilion sort of, but it's not like a big pavilion.
It's a pavilion.
It's a pagoda.
Is it?
Yeah, that has it's a pagoda type thing that has some some enclosure.
Yes.
And then some temporary enclosure.
It's an indoor-outdoor space.
Yes.
So basically you're under a covering, but outdoors there, the pool's there, and the wine vines, what we call vineyards or grapevines, the wine vines are just beyond. So it's gorgeous. The sun is setting. Here's what happens.
Yeah.
Literally one of the best nights of my life. One of the most memorable nights of my life. They break out the champagne.
Yes.
And they break out the truffles.
Give me some champers.
We had thinly sliced truffles on buttered bread.
Yes.
Truffles on salted cheese.
Yes.
Truffles on creamy cheese.
Yes.
We also had truffle ice cream.
Yes.
They had truffle salt.
Yes.
And
then they had just truffle.
Yeah. And they tell you to book a tour for about 3 hours. I think we stayed for 5 plus. We wouldn't leave, and they were great the whole time.
Thank you guys, because we just kept going on and on. All of us, all 6 of us.
Yeah.
But we were really, really intrigued.
One of the best meals of my life.
So that's when you learn so much about how to properly eat this thing. Like, it's like, how you can't just throw it on anything.
No,
That's the first time I really learned that you eat truffle with things that are salty and fatty.
Yes.
And that's what brings out the flavor. You get to, you don't overpower the truffle, and you don't let the truffle overpower something else. You want there to be balance. And so it is carried really well on food that has salt and fat.
Yes.
And so that was an experience for me. Trying it on the different cheeses.
Right.
And then trying it by itself, and then trying it on the bread with the butter. Trying it, the ice cream, the truffle, I believe it's truffle honey. We had some truffle honey.
Yes.
Like, you never realize. And then you're like, this is heaven.
Because the thing with truffles is that you want to have a little bit of salty flavor, so it works great with eggs. Any egg dishes, it works great.
Yes.
Any sort of cheese dishes, it works
Yes.
very well. Pastas, it works great with
Yes.
those. And any combination with that, it's just, and we tried it, and here's the deal. They kept bringing out the truffles.
I know.
Because we thought, well,
It's 'cause-
truffles are expensive. They said, yeah, but you're on the tour, so here you go.
And it was the one you broke.
You know, of all the things going to live down in my life, apparently that's on the short list of, no. I'll be on my deathbed, and you're going to say, honey, you've had a good life. Remember when you broke that truffle? It's like, what did I do? I brushed it too hard?
Oh, my God.
Really? Am I going to be doomed forever for this one faux pas?
Oh, it's funny.
Which is a French word.
For Fox Pass.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fox Pass is how I say it. Now, here's the thing. When you're doing there, and again, this is not a high pressure thing.
Yeah.
It's not. I promise you it's not.
Yeah.
They say, hey, by the way, if you want to get truffles in the future, here's what you do. You can, from this organization, from the farm, you can adopt an olive tree.
Yes.
And get a year's supply of olive oil. They'll send it to you.
Yum.
You can adopt a beehive, and they will send you 3 jars of truffle honey and 3 jars of wildflower honey.
Yum.
Or you can do, and here's what we did.
I know.
They're the truffle oak,
Yes.
and price-wise, it's 150 euros.
For the first time.
For the first time, it's
Yeah.
an adoption fee. And
Yes.
we actually have a truffle oak with our name on it over in France.
They put a little like plaque on it.
And they take a picture of
I
it, and they
know.
send you the picture, and we've got the picture.
I totally framed it.
Yeah, we did. We framed it, we hung it up.
Oh, and you get to name it?
Yes.
Whatever you want to name it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have your own truffle oak, and we named it after our pets.
No, did we name that one after the pets?
I
We
don't
named, well, okay, so get to the next thing and then I'll tell you what we did.
Also, grapevines.
Yes, so you can also adopt a grapevine.
Yes.
Or what I would like to call a wine vine.
Hashtag wine vine.
Oh, yes.
Don't you dare put
I'm going to
that on
hashtag that.
Don't you dare do
It's
that.
going on the socials.
No.
Okay, so anyway, you can adopt one of those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're going to tell the listeners the price, but I just want to say right now, on ours, I can't remember which one we did. On either the tree or the grapevine, we did our names.
Yes.
Then on the other one, we did the name of our pets.
Yes.
Because we had just lost one of our pets.
Yeah.
And so we put it in the name of Beans, Rue, Shmoo, Heidi, and Peach.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes, and those are our cats, and 3 cats, 2 dogs. So basically,
Yeah.
if you go over there, it's like, well, who is what is a Roo? It's like Roo is one of our cats.
Yeah.
So, but the amazing thing is that if you adopt these, and I should say, backing up at the truffle oak, if you adopt a truffle oak, it's 150 euros for the first year. That's the adoption. It's 75 euros after that.
Yes, and then you just pay for the shipping to have them shipped over, which is only like 70 euros.
And it's 100 grams.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe how much.
Yes.
We ended up sharing them with family.
Yeah, we couldn't eat them fast enough.
I know, because
Because-
you want to eat them within like a certain amount of time.
Like a week or two.
Yeah.
I mean, in a perfect world, you eat them that day. You start, and they'll
Yeah.
send you an email like, by the way, it's coming,
Yeah.
and it's coming FedEx, dry ice shipped,
Yeah.
hermetically sealed, the whole bit. It'll get there fresh as
Yes.
it is. You pop that sucker open.
It really is fresh.
Oh, it smells so good.
And then you have to be really careful about how you store it. It
Yeah.
will stink up your entire refrigerator.
And we mean stink up in the nicest way possible. Everything in your fridge will smell like truffles.
So
which
they-
is not bad, by the way. But
To me,
you
that's a
wanna-
good thing.
But you want to contain it.
You do. So they tell you how to keep it.
Yes.
What not to do, what to do. You follow those rules and instructions. You're good to go. Our fridge did not smell bad.
And the thing is, and if you want something, and here's something I didn't know, helpful hint. If you have truffles, you store them with eggs, and then you wrap up the eggs, saran wrap Tupperware, whatever you do.
Yeah.
But then the flavor of the truffle
It permeates.
It permeates, I tells you, the egg shell.
Yes.
And then you make eggs, and they have just the delicate flavor of truffle. Then you
Yes.
shave truffles on top of those bad
Oh,
boys.
man.
Yeah, you would pay big money in a restaurant for that delicacy. You can have that at home.
That's what makes me love these people. They live this life. They get this every day. If they want it.
Yes.
And I get it once a year, but could I really live in a place that had truffles and wine vines?
Yep.
I absolutely could.
You would leave me in a heartbeat. The thing is, when you're getting all these things and the wine, and we joined the wine club, and the wine club basically, so every year we get 2 bottles of red, 2 bottles of rosé, and 2 bottles of, is that Syrah?
Syrah, yeah.
Syrah, is that how to say that? Yeah.
Yum.
And you get a 6-pack of wine. So, okay. So let's explain what happens when the truffles arrive.
Okay.
Because the truffles arrived in late January for us.
Wait, did you go over the prices for the wine?
85 euros.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
For those. And the oak is 150 for the first year and then 75 after that.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's adoption fee, then annual fee. It's totally worth it.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
So they arrive.
So the truffles showed up in January and we knew they were coming. And it's almost
No.
embarrassing. What?
We ordered them in January.
Yes.
They showed up in February because we had them around my birthday.
That's right.
But it was early February.
Early February. That's right.
So, but in your mind, it's January because the process to like let them know.
Yes, sorry.
Like that we were doing it, like because they were like, you adopted the tree. Do you want them this year? Do you want to skip
That's
a year?
right.
They'll let you
February.
skip a year
It's
if you want.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's like second
Yes.
day of early February. That's right. So, because in late January, I knew the order was coming.
Exactly.
So I'm standing there and, okay, is everyone not embarrassed by how shameful it is when the Amazon truck comes down the street and you start doing that giddy little happy dance going, oh, please, it's for me. Oh, please, it's for me.
I order too much from Amazon, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
She has this Pavlovian response whenever there's a FedEx or a UPS truck, it's like, and you go to the window and you just plaster your hands against the window and go, oh, is that for me?
I'm like a kid watching snow come down for the first time.
We had an Amazon delivery earlier today.
Yeah.
Just so you know, and truthfully, we had an Amazon showed up today.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go.
I was excited.
But this one, we're uber
Oh my
excited
God.
because the truffles are coming.
I lost my mind.
Yes, you did.
And I was like, because I didn't know, like it's so special. And then you don't, because you get Amazon every day.
Yeah.
You don't get this every day.
No.
And it was such a special thing that I didn't know what it was going to look like.
You're calling your family, you're
And
calling friends.
Look, you've got a sign for them. This is for serious.
Yes.
And so I was like, like every time something happened, I'd be like, like,
The box arrives. If you've ever seen Raiders: The Lost Ark, where Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, opens up the chest and the gold and like, that's what it felt
That's
like.
me.
We're like, whoa, what
my
is this?
gosh.
The trouble, and they're all clean. They're ready to go. It is fine.
they're beautiful.
And we look at that, and the first thing that hits you is the smell.
Yes.
You just go, oh,
truffle.
It's not a smell, it's an aroma.
It is.
So good.
It's pungent. It doesn't have the most delightful smell, but you know what you're smelling is going to taste out of this world.
And see,
so
that's
you like once you like, you know, correlate it with that, your brain doesn't smell anything but deliciousness.
And the thing is, when I smell it, I love the smell, and I automatically started salivating. I just smelled it and went,
You did.
oh, that's fresh truffle.
Oh, that's
Let's
fresh.
eat that. And so
Fresh.
you start planning your menu for the next
Yes.
week around truffles.
Yes, we did.
It's not like, hey, we're going to Taco Bell this week. It's like, no, you're not. You're going to put truffles on
Right.
stuff. And you, Marie, did an amazing job because suddenly, and remember, you want salt and fat. Salt and fat.
Yeah.
This is my T-shirt said this in high school. Salt and fat.
Stop it.
We had truffle infused. What did we make?
Well, when we stored them initially, we stored some how they tell you to store it.
Yes.
So it doesn't stink up your fridge, but they remain fresh.
Yes.
We stored some precisely like that, and then we stored them with the eggs.
Yes.
So we did like, was it 6 or 8 eggs or something?
Yeah, well, we threw in like half dozen eggs and said,
Yeah.
okay, you guys get truffleized.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
So we did that at first, and then I started planning the meals.
Yes.
So here were the meals that we had. Because we had infused the egg. Oh, and I forgot. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
We also made truffle salt.
That's right.
And so you get little bits of the truffle, and you put it in with salt, and
Yes.
it makes the salt taste like truffle.
It's like whatever is left over. If you have
Yes.
little bitty bits
Like
they
a
didn't
nub.
shave down or something
Yes.
like that, you throw that in the salt because
Yes.
we have some Himalayan sea salt. You throw it in
Yes.
there, you got truffle salt.
The pink Himalayan sea salt, and I don't know how anybody else does it, but with our pink Himalayan sea salt and the truffle bits, it was
Yummy,
fantastic.
yummy,
Yeah.
yummy.
Okay, so
Okay.
here's what we made.
Yes.
We made truffle infused egg on some pasta.
Made some pasta, put an egg on that, put truffle on that bad boy. And we said truffle infused, so the truffle is in the flavor of the egg and there's truffle on top.
And we did like a pasta that was just like a real like light with a little bit of Parmesan and butter, which is really how you're supposed to do something that over here people would say is an Alfredo, because we correlate like white sauce with pasta as an Alfredo, but really when you're abroad, you understand that it's not like a creamy white sauce. It's really just Parmesan and butter that sort of makes. So we did that and we put the egg on it. That was literally, I thought, well, I guess if we do anything else, that's great. I'm fine. Like I was like, I could die and go to heaven.
Yeah, I could die now and be happy. Like, yeah, my last meal was truffles. It's all good.
But then we took it further.
Yes, you did. What else?
We had truffles on spinach and ricotta ravioli.
Yes.
Now, we did not make these ravioli because we do not have a pasta maker.
No.
Which we should get. And we probably will. But at the time, we were living in a small townhouse.
Yes.
And so we bought some good quality, already prepared ravioli.
Yep.
And it was
Make
fantastic.
those bad boys. Truffleize that. It's awesome.
Then I had to do it because here's the thing. They also post on their socials, Le Postres. They post what everybody does. They repost it from everybody else's, like all their customers.
So you see the ideas of what everybody else is doing.
So there were so many ideas on mac and cheese. I had to do it. I had to make a mac and cheese. So we did truffle on a Gouda mac and cheese, which I thought was going to knock me on my feet, off my feet.
I was literally going to leave you that day and just say, I'm taking all the mac and cheese and goodbye. It was so good.
I almost passed out. It was so good.
Yeah.
Okay. We made a charcuterie board for my birthday.
Yep.
So we did your finest meats and cheeses, and then we did truffle with little slices of baguette with butter.
Yeah, so you have a baguette, you have a piece of salami on there, some cheese, and some truffle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then we just, the truffle on like a creamy or a salty cheese.
Yum, 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 yum.
We made the salt, and then the last thing we did, because we had little bits left, and this was, I have to say, I am kind of a genius for this.
Yes, you are.
We did some truffle butter on popcorn with freshly sprinkled bits of truffle, and it was the best popcorn I've ever had in my life.
You've had good popcorn before, but this just set the curve.
When people are like, I'm going to put M&Ms in my popcorn, I'm like, you're crazy.
Put truffle on that bad boy.
This is how you do it, son. Like, it was so good.
So, and here's the deal. We're signed up. We're going to get more this year. So it's late January, early February, right on there's the sweet spot. That's when we get our truffles.
Yes.
And we sort of plan like that whole week to be around.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're not traveling this week. Why? Because the truffles are a-coming.
Well, because of COVID, we're not traveling.
No.
So there you go.
So we're getting truffles this time, and holy moly, you kidding me?
Now talk about the wine.
The wine?
Yeah, because we got the wine. Mm-hmm. We still have a few bottles.
Yes.
We're holding on until like we gave a bottle or two away.
Foolish.
I know.
We should drink these on our own.
But they were so appreciated. When people here get stuff like this, they lose their ever-loving minds.
We have adopted a grapevine or grapevines over there. Yeah. And yes, so we do have wine coming as well.
Yes,
and
so
it's
we'll drink these
6 bottles.
Coming up. So yeah.
And it's very
so good. It's really balanced. It's got really good flavor. The wine is fantastic.
So the wine is good. The truffles are good. You're thinking all is good. It's like, wow, this is the perfect vacation. Everything. And I'll say this. This is one of the most perfect days I've ever had in my life was going there.
Me too.
It absolutely was. However, you could still have a disagreement.
Never.
There are those who would argue that even on a day as perfect as this, you may not be just totally in sync with your life partner. And that's what happened to us. Should we get to it right now?
Sure.
This is the part of our show that we call it Monica versus Joey.
It's game on. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
Okay, so we talked about truffle dogs, but remember, this industry also employs the truffle pig.
Well, it started out that way, and I guess that's traditional. I actually didn't look too much up on this, but that's before it became more popular to use dogs. People just use truffle hogs.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they
truffle
used.
pig. And the thing is, the truffle pigs, they're rooting, they're digging, all that stuff. So here, this is Monica versus Joey this week, because Monica, of course, you like puppies, and you would love to have a little puppy dog.
I love them.
There we go. Oh, we're going to get the truffles. Oh, how good the truffles. Dig, dig, dig.
And you would love that, wouldn't you?
They'd sound just like that.
Yes, they would. So you're all over the truffle dog idea.
Yes.
Me, as the Joey, I'll play Joey in this scenario just because that's the way it's going to be. You, as Joey, you would say...
I'm laughing because one of our dogs just walked past all of our mood lighting And it just was like, you're talking about puppies?
If you're
I'd be a
watching on
truffle pup.
YouTube, you just saw weird shadows go by. That was the dog who was actually rooting, who started this whole premise of this program. Thanks,
Yeah,
Heidi.
she's probably like, I need to make an appearance. Give me my dues.
So, Monica, you like truffle dog?
I do, because I like puppy dogs.
Yeah, and they're nice. They're cute.
Yeah.
And Maribel and Claire, they were great. We got to rub them and talk to them and all stuff.
So
Me,
cute.
as the Joey character, I want a truffle pig.
Sure you
And,
do.
and Johan actually said, here's one reason people don't have truffle pigs now is that if you're driving around with a dog, hey, you're driving with a dog. Everybody drives with a dog. If you're driving through the south of France and there's a pig next to you in the pickup truck, people are going to notice.
Hey,
And they're
what's
gonna
that all about?
Yeah, they're going to think there's a truffle pig, and that
Yeah.
might give away the secret that you have truffles
Yes.
on your farm.
And because we know, because
Yeah.
it's controversial and it's the truffle trade is a thing,
Yes.
you might not want to give that away,
But the thing is,
that information.
speaking as Joey, though,
Yes.
I'm just thinking, a truffle pig, one, it's a pig, and two,
You just want a pig.
I do, because
Pigs are cute.
and they're delicious.
So you would
Where do you think we got bacon from?
you would slaughter it after it's done doing its done doing its job?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, see, I can't. I am always torn. I eat meat, but I also don't like the thought of killing anything.
But it served its purpose. It got all the truffles for you. But the reason they switched from pigs to dogs is because pigs, when they find a truffle, they're like,
Yeah.
and they'll go ahead and eat it.
Well, here's what they said though.
Yes.
Is that because they will root around and then eat it? That's why I'm remembering now. That's why people stopped using them.
Right.
The dogs will kind of, root
They'll
and find
find it.
Then they'll like stop.
Yes.
And be like, I don't want this.
Well, they'll stop. They'll go, hey, where's my reward? For the pig, the
Right.
truffle is the reward. And
Yes.
it's like, oh, I found that. And they'll eat it.
Thank you. You are absolutely right. And I forgot that it was put that way.
You forgot the pig noise of a pig rooting for truffles. That's what they sound like.
I'm going to hear that all night, aren't I?
All night, yeah. So anyway, Monica versus Joey, you would like to have a truffle dog.
I like the truffle pups.
The truffle pups.
Just because you can like cuddle them after and make them feel really good. And pigs aren't too cuddly, though. I have heard that people who have pigs are like, pigs are fantastic to have as pets.
And they're delicious.
See, that's why I
bacon,
can't have a farm. This is why I can't have a
ham,
farm.
Pork chops.
I can't kill the things, even though it is way more
Ribs.
humane. I can't kill the things. I would like have to eat on the farm because I would just be loving them all the time. I'd name them for Christ's sake. Like it would be like, oh, that's Ed,
Yeah.
Wilbur, Phil. Like can't kill Phil.
Wasn't Wilbur the pig in Charlotte's
Yeah.
Web or something? There you go.
And he was gonna go to slaughter.
I know.
But anyway, I like puppies.
I would have a truffle pig.
Okay, fine.
Okay, agree to disagree. Once again, as we're doing this, now it's time. If you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, either way, hey, this is the time you want to take some serious notes. And remember, if you don't take notes on this, go to vocavacay.com. We've got all the links for you, all the pictures, all the stuff. This is where you need to have a travel nugget to really pull this off. We're going to tell you exactly where to go. Stand by. This is at Voca Vacay. This is our travel nugget.
Ooh, I like a good travel nugget.
I like a good travel nugget.
Here's the website for you.
Upgrade my travel brain.
Yeah, I will upgrade by saying the following: lespastras.com, LESPASTRAS.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
It's on our website, vocavacay.com. Go there, go there, go there.
Yes.
And I how do I say this without exaggerating? It's the best website ever made in the history of ever.
Because you see all these things that you can do there, and then it makes you want to like have a truffle farm. But like, they're really cool, and it shows you all the stuff you can do, and it's a great place to visit, and it gives you all the deets on how to do all this stuff. And we were there joking around because I was like, you actually live here and do this. It's like we just get to visit. And we were saying the entire evening, every day I'm truffling.
Yeah.
Like this is so funny.
Oh, that song's gonna be in my head now. Like nobody knows the truffles I've seen.
I love it.
It's so delicious. And so here's the deal. Not only do we love these people, but we get their truffles every year. And we also get the bottles of wine every year.
Yeah.
Because and we're not just saying this because like, oh yeah, we went there. No, the wine is really good and the truffles are amazing.
Fantastic.
So it's really good stuff. And big supporters of them. We've adopted their grapevines and the truffle oaks and all this stuff. And we want to go back because it depends on when you go in the season. And here's the deal. If you miss the truffle hunting season, there's also grape stomping season, which we want to go back in the fall sometime Just go
Yes.
stomp some grapes.
Yes.
They also have foraging. You look for like wild mushrooms and stuff like that. There's
Yes.
things to do.
I would love to do that.
I know.
I want to do the mushroom foraging.
Year round, there's things to do.
Yeah.
So if you go to the website and check it out, see what the calendar is and see what's available at that time. If you happen to be going to that area, you can either make this the destination and we got incredibly fortunate.
We did. The weather was fantastic. But here's the thing. It was January when we went.
Yes.
And so it was colder, but I like it a little colder.
Yeah.
My Irish roots. What
Your
can I
Irish
say?
roots were saying, you put on a jacket, you're fine.
Oh my gosh. It was like, I don't even know what it would be Celsius.
Yeah.
But it was like 50 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And when you're bundled up and there's like a farm you're walking around on, it's fantastic.
The weather was not even concerned for me. It was a perfect,
Yeah.
crisp day.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. So I
Yeah.
really thank these guys. We encourage everybody to just go out there, check out the website, go there and see if you can get this on your agenda
Yeah.
sometime. Look, we all know people's like, I went skydiving. Well, good for you. I ran a 5K. Good for you. I went truffle hunting.
What?
What? So-
Yeah. That's
So-
a thing of a thing.
That's the website to go to. And, as we go through these websites, we also, every single episode of this, we go through and try to find the most inconceivable things that are on the internet. So when you talk about inconceivability or what is just inconceivable, we've decided that every single week we're going to have a website. We're going to feature it.
Yeah.
And it's going to make you say, what the holy guacamole?
What the holy guacamole are you talking about?
The word hero is overused, but there are a couple of instances where it totally applies. The guy who invented the burrito,
Okay.
that's a hero. Aldo Nova, he's a hero.
Okay.
Musician, everybody thinks he's sang that song, Life is a Fantasy, Can't You Live This Fantasy Life? Da, 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 da.
Oh.
Aldo Nova.
Okay.
He has a deep bench of songs. He's a hero. He is awesome.
Okay, cool.
All right? So,
if you say so.
but there's another kind of hero. I do. There's another kind of hero called Space Hero.
Okay, what is this?
This is different and it's another level. This is a planned reality TV show. We found this on the websites, on the internets. This is what happens. You go, what the holy guacamole are you talking about?
Sure.
Space Hero. The website has been made and it's coming. Listen to this.
Oh my God.
It is a new reality television show. It will search the globe for one lucky winner. The lucky winner gets the grand prize. Get this, a 10-day stay aboard the International Space Station in 2023.
This is nuts.
They're going to take some regular schlub and put them up in the space station for 10 days.
All I can think of.
videotape it.
All I can think of is all the people that shouldn't be up there. I'm like running through my head, my Rolodex of people I know that I'm like, you wouldn't make it, you wouldn't make it, you wouldn't make it. This is interesting.
But hang on. You are prejudging people, and that is wrong, and here's why.
Okay.
They do not want an astronaut type person.
Oh.
They want a regular guy or gal.
Lord. Yeah.
They're going to check your physical, emotional, and mental strength.
I'm out.
I'm out.
See ya. Y'all have fun.
The physical, emotional, and mental strength. They want an average person. They do not want someone who's like, hi, I'm the space hero. They don't want that guy.
Right,
They want someone
right.
who's actually average this whole
Right.
thing. And they're going to show the training and then put them up the International Space Station. They're going to be up there for 10 days
Oh my
in
God.
weightlessness, just floating around. Whee!
I can't even. This is hysterical. I don't think I could do this. I'd be so freaked out.
I'll do this in a second.
You would totally do this.
Okay, space hero guys, let me know. Hi, I'm Frank from Voca Vacay. Put me on. I would totally do this in a heartbeat.
Hashtag Space Hero Frank.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hashtag Space Frank.
Whoa, it rolls off the tongue. You would miss me when I'm gone in
Aw.
space. The thing is, this has not started yet.
Okay.
So you can't enter yet, but this is a preview of what's coming up on the internet. They're about to open up entries soon. They don't have a date yet. But
Okay.
remember, this is not until 2023. But it's going to be a global, worldwide search. And the idea is it's a reality TV show. And with all these things going on, they're going to have cameras everywhere. And then they're going to ask the grand prize winner who goes up in space. They're going to show the training, whatever, and make sure they're physically, emotionally, and mentally fit
Sure.
to go up into space. And they go stick them there for 10 days. You float around and then they come back and that's the show. That's
So
awesome.
This really begs the question of where is TV going? Like, I'm like, they've already had like ice skating with the stars. They have dancing with the stars. They have all of this, like these reality game type shows.
Yes.
We have to go to space now? Like, we've
Yeah.
run out of programming?
Space
What
Hero
just happened?
is based in space.
I know.
Hashtag Space Frank.
Space Frank. Hashtag Space Frank. So I know you and I teach this stuff. Like,
Yes.
we look at, audience analytics and programming. And
Sure we do.
We look at content creation and, like, just, we encourage our students to look at what's happening in terms of where you can deliver video and, like, how you can get jobs and stuff. Could you even imagine if one of our students was like, so I graduated and I applied and now I'm a camera person
In space.
for Space Hero? It's
That's
like,
awesome. That is wicked
I
awesome.
tell my students, I'm like, reality TV is a great place to start.
Yes.
Like, you can be an editor, a night editor. You can start out there and work your way up. You can be a PA. You can do whatever. Start there, work your way up. I cannot even if one of my students was like, going to space because
Hero.
now I have a gig. I'm like, is that where TV is going? Like,
Yes, it
what
is. It
happening?
is going to the final frontier, which is space. You can be a space hero. In fact, you're talking about movie stars, and you can't enter this yet, by the way. It's coming. Tom Cruise is currently working with NASA to film parts of an upcoming movie on the International Space Station. So where
Oh.
Tom Cruise was weightless, you can be too in the future. I'm not making this up. This is what happens with your What the Holy Guacamole segments. You find out about these little bitty oddities for travel.
It's fantastic and amazing.
We love this. So,
It's interesting.
Hey, check that out sometime.
Thanks for letting me know about that.
Absolutely.
And our listeners.
Darn right. You should check that. Also, the other thing is check out our website, vocavacay.com.
Yes.
Because we're out there. And also, remember, you keep up with us on Facebook and the socials.
Oh, we're on all the socials. In fact, what I think people should do is, after listening to this episode, if you go on and tweet us, #SpaceFrank, maybe we'll send you a little something, like a little autograph something or something. Like, I think it would be funny if anybody actually did.
Oh, let's do that.
#SpaceFrank.
Oh, my gosh. We've gone viral
Okay,
like
that's
a
it.
virus.
That's it. I'm saying it right now. Write it down. It's in stone. This is for reals.
Okay.
Number one, if anyone tweets us and says #SpaceFrank, we will send you an autographed picture of the two of us.
Wow.
The first,
I don't have an
I will
autographed
say,
picture of the
the
two
first
of us.
5 people that do this,
Okay.
we'll send you an autographed picture of us,
Okay, we can do that.
which you can frame and put on your mantle, over your fireplace, and celebrate us throughout the year, over holidays, bar mitzvahs,
There you go.
anniversaries,
There you go.
everything,
And
birthdays.
when I'm in space, I will look down upon you fondly. That is the payoff. That being said, check us out online.
Yeah, so we're on the socials.
VocaVacay.com.
We're on VocaVacay.com, the Instagrams, the Book of Faces, the tweeters.
The tweeters.
Yeah, and we're on all of the podcast platforms.
All the good stuff. So,
Yeah.
hey, be sure to check it out. And remember, as always, as we're doing these things, we got to thank once again our new countries, Australia, Ireland,
Yeah.
and the Philippines. Thanks for playing along. It's a lot of fun to have you with us.
Yes, and don't forget to live vicariously through yourself.
And we're on 2 weeks, so
We'll see you in a fortnight, but don't forget to vacation like it's your job.
darn right.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Frank.
Thanks for playing, Marie. I appreciate it so much. And remember, it's VocaVacay.com. We'll see you in a fortnight, okay? Love ya. Miss ya. Mean it.
Bye.
Don't forget to click subscribe. As always, #Voca Vacay at Voca Vacay and visit VocaVacay.com.